Hi guys, Nebou here. Welcome to Anthro Anime. I know usually Roshi's the one that does the anime on Saturdays, but I snuck in because I want to share some of my own anime that I like. I'm really into action anime, and the ones I'm going to talk about today are action packed. Actually, they're like borderline brutal, savage. I don't know why I like them, but I do. I'm a complete closeted like action anime buff. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned. I'm gonna tell you what my top 5 action anime are. So let's start off. So my first, well, I guess I'll do it from 5 backwards. So the fifth anime that I'm gonna talk about is Samurai Champloo. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with this series, it's really interesting, and I'm a fan of another one of this creator's animes that's on this list as well. But this anime is a mix up of like hip hop music and kind of like the Edo era of Japan. So you'll hear a lot of like current day beats and music and themes, but everything that's taking place is taking place back in that era of Japan where there's samurais and there's sword fights. And it's a really, really cool story visually and just being able to listen to the music. I actually have a copy of the music that I listen to digitally that I really, really enjoy. So if you guys are interested in that type of setting with sword fights and action that way, definitely check out Samurai Champloo. Now, what I was talking about before is another series from the same creator director, and it is Cowboy Bebop. Now, Cowboy Bebop kind of does a similar thing with using a different type of musical score. This anime uses jazz. So, this whole anime is centered around kind of what I would call like not like bounty hunters or space bounty hunters. So, you've got like the main characters are like Spike, and he goes out and he goes out to get bounties on people's heads, and it's all about his kind of adventures and looking for somebody who killed the love of his life, and how all that is kind of shadowed with this jazz music and this kind of upbeat tempo music that goes on, and he's a good fighter, and there's a lot of great fight sequences and scenes, and it's a really great anime if you're interested in a mixture of kind of like space and bounty hunting and all these different themes lumped into one. Please check out Cowboy Bebop. The next I'm going to talk about is utter savagery. Like when I talk about like bones breaking and faces breaking and blood and guts and muscle and blah. This is the epitome of all that stuff combined. Like it's like an explosion. And that is Bakke the Grappler. Now I will tell you this series is so savage and brutal and insane. And it's literally just people that are beating each other to a pulp because they want to say that they're the greatest fighter in the world. That's it. That's all there is to it. They're literally different masters of different fighting styles, and they meet underground and they pummel each other till like there's nothing left. Like when I say savage and brutal, like I'm talking like people punching through faces, and it's insane. But if you like that kind of stuff, Bakke the Grappler is your show. And there's 2 versions of it. There's one that I think came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, and there's one that's actually out through Netflix that came out in 2018. They're both brutal, but if I had to compare them, the one in 2018 is far, far more savage. Like, I didn't think they could up the ante, but it is savage. Okay? So if you're interested in that type of action, I would check out Bakke the Grappler. The second one I'm going to talk about, my number 2, and I've actually rewatched this series a number of times, is Black Lagoon. by far one of like my favorite main characters is Revi. She is just amazing and awesome in this show. So this show centers around a Japanese businessman who's basically taken for ransom by some mercenaries. And instead of his company paying the ransom, they're pretty much like, well, sucks to be you, not saving you. So they pretty much leave this Japanese businessman high and dry. And instead of him just being like, oh God, and like returning back to his old life, he's like, I don't want anything to do with corporations and that type of stuff. Like, I see how they treat you. I'm going to join up with the mercenaries that kidnap me. So that's what he does. He actually joins the mercenaries that set out to kidnap him, and they go on all types of adventures. There's this crazy woman, gun-toting woman named Revi, and she is amazing. Like, she's just awesome. It kind of reminds me of like a Quentin Tarantino-esque type film. So if you like Quentin Tarantino and his kind of style of action, but you want to see it in an anime form, I would definitely check out Black Lagoon. Okay, and my final selection is Claymore. So Claymore is an anime from 2007. It's definitely brutal. Most of these shows I'm talking about are definitely not for small children, not for kids at all. These are definitely something that only adults or teenagers should be viewing because of the level of violence and savagery in these. Claymore focuses on a woman named Claire, and she is trained by a corporation to fight these demon type creatures called a Yuma. So she's half of this demon creature called a Yuma and half human. And it's all about her journey to fight these creatures and how she picks up a young boy on the way and how it kind of transforms how she thinks and responds to things and how she's looked at by her fellow Claymores. I would definitely check this out. I think they rebooted this series in like 2017, so I haven't seen any more recent episodes. But I would highly recommend if you guys like sword fights, demons, that type of fantasy horror action stuff. Check out Claymores. It's an excellent series. I highly recommend them. So guys, those are my top 5 picks that I snuck in here while Roshi's gone. Don't tell him, please don't tell him. Okay guys, thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys Wednesdays for my regular scheduled Nebou's 90s. All right, bye-bye.